Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy hump day! Hope you're having a fantastic week. And if the week is not fantastic, don't worry, the weekend is technically almost here, so hang in there, you can do this. So today we're going to be DIYing overpriced Urban Outfitters items. I want to wear Urban Outfitters so bad, but they're so damn expensive. Like, who is buying a cable knit sweater vest for $44? Certainly not me. I am as broke as can be. So I am going to DIY it. I thrifted this full-blown sweater with sleeves and everything for $12 off Vinted, and we're going to make this cute sweater vest. It's cute, but hey, it's not $44 cute. So to make your sweater vest, you're going to start with marking the length you want your final vest to be. If you want this to be as long as the moon, you do you, baby girl. No one should be judging you. And then you're going to mark the length of your band. Mine was 2¼ inches long, and from the pin, you're going to go up 2¼ inches. Well, of course, you'll vary this according to the length of your band. And once you have that, get rid of the pin and mark a line through the point that we just marked. So don't mark a line through where you put the pin, go above it, because you want the band to be accommodated in the final length of the sweater. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to do this along the back as well. I'm going to draw a straight line, that way I have a guideline all the way around. And once my straight line was marked, I'm going to fold up my sweater inwards. That way I can just align everything and it looks super cute. So now we're going to match up the top of your band to that line we just drew. We were not drawing it for fun. No, it has a purpose. If something is not serving a purpose in your life, eliminate it. This is your sign. So now I matched up the top of my band to the straight line, and I did this all the way around. Make sure you do the back as well, unless you want a different vibe at the back. In that case, just don't let me tell you what to do. You do you, honey. And once you've pinned all around, you are going to sew a straight stitch all around to crop this top and make her ready to be a beautiful cropped sweater vest. So moving on to the sewing machine, we're just sewing a straight stitch here, people. We're not going to the moon. This isn't complicated. Just sew a basic straight stitch, get with it. You can literally do this in your sleep, and if you can't, I am so sorry. Please see a therapist. So once I'd sewn my straight stitch all around, I am now going to get rid of the excess fabric at the bottom. You don't need her. She's not serving a purpose, and as I said, if you have no purpose, you get eliminated. So we're going to cut off the excess fabric, and I was really struggling here. I was wondering, why is this so tough to cut? Turns out I was cutting the band as well, so I felt really dumb. I cried a bit. I asked myself, why am I like this? Why am I such a mess? And I decided I'd just ignore it. I would not address it. I would ignore this problem and it would hopefully go away. But what we learn here is make sure your band is stacked away and make sure you're not a failure in life such that you're cutting slits in your band. So I continued cutting off the excess fabric, and once she was at the door, we have this situation, and you're going to zigzag stitch the raw edge just to control the strings and make sure they're not misbehaving. I just did a basic zigzag stitch. Well, a zigzag stitch is not basic, pardon me. I did a zigzag stitch, and you can use a serger. If you have a serger, it's totally up to you. So now we're going to move on to the business of eliminating the sleeves. They're not serving a purpose, so they gotta go. There's no sympathy here. You have to play a role. So I basically just cut the string in between. I was trying to be as neat as possible so that I didn't have the fraying. It didn't exactly work out as intended, but it looked cute. It was workable with, and this is what we have. This is what I'm bringing to the table, so take it or leave it. And I took it, okay? That's what the sleeve said. So I'm going to fold in the fabric inwards. Remember, your sweater is inside out. You're not doing this on the right side. And you're basically just hemming that raw edge, trying to make her look put together so that she can actually have friends. She's struggling, so we're trying to make her seem like she's put together. So just fold in your fabric once, pin it in place, and do this all around your sleeve, and you will repeat this on the other side unless you want a one sleeve sweater. Actually, that could be a thing. How come no one's thought of that? I am such a genius. So once you've done both sides, you're going to sew a straight stitch just to make sure the hem stays in place and she's obeying the law and she's actually trying to be a good person. You know, we don't need negative vibes here. So just going to make sure she stays in check. So at the sewing machine, you know the drill. Basic straight stitch. Don't try to be an overachiever. No one likes an overachiever, Meredith, okay? So just keep it cute. keep it cute. So once I'd sewn the straight stitch, I was done and dusted here, and my sleeveless sweater was ready to be the belle of the ball. So here she is inside out, and bam, here she is the right way out. She looks hella cute, and you are now ready to get into Harvard. Yes, this tutorial is a tutorial on how to get into Harvard. So look at me, preppy vibes. Did I go to Harvard? I definitely did not, but this sweater says otherwise. I barely made it through college, but in this sweater, I look like I made it through Harvard, and that is what a good DIY does. So if you're wondering what I did with the back that had a slit, I just sewed it shut, and I decided to ignore it. I just did like a simple cute straight stitch with my needle and thread, and I left her to be whoever she wanted to be. So now we're going to move on to making the second DIY. You're in for a spicy surprise. We are making a Lattice Hem cardigan. Urban Outfitters has the audacity to sell this for $59. Like, who has this kind of money? Are people just rich and I'm poor? I made this from a $3.50 shirt that looked really basic, to be honest, but I turned her into the cute stuff they're selling. Maybe I should be selling this for $59. Anyway, I get carried away. So we're going to mark the length of your top. Once you've done that, you're going to mark how deep you want your V to be. I decided 7¼ inches was enough for me. You can definitely go deeper if you want to, and that is definitely what she said. But I am going to mark a V, make sure that I'm keeping it cute. Today's about keeping it cute, okay? So I drew a line to mark my V, and once I was satisfied with her, I'm going to cut off the excess fabric. So I turned and twisted this shirt in ways that shirts should not be turned and twisted, but I wanted to cut this out the right way and have a cute V-neck at the end of the day. And once the excess fabric had been eliminated, we're going to mark the point of the pin with a chalk, get rid of the pin, she's fired, and we're going to draw a straight line through that point. So if you want to freestyle this, you can freestyle this, but people underestimate how much straight lines help you to cut in a straight line. Like, I know it's simple logic, but it's definitely saved my life. I'm a changed woman since I started drawing straight lines and cutting them out. So once I cut off the excess fabric, I'm now going to draw a line down the middle, and this line, on top of getting us into Harvard, is going to help us make a cute bottom placket on both sides. So I'm going to cut through the straight line, and once that was done, I've split my top into two. Make sure you're only cutting through the top layer, by the way. And now we're going to hem the neckline, and to do this, just fold in your fabric twice and pin it in place. And I literally did this for 2 hours. This was just stressing me out because this fabric did not want to be tamed, but it's really easy to do if you don't have fabric that wants to fight you. So what you do is you're going to fold in your fabric twice. So I'm just making sure she's laying flat. So fold her in twice, and once she's nice and in there, you're going to pin her in place that way she doesn't move about, and sewing is such a breeze. So you're going to do this all the way around your neckline. If you want to fold it in once, it's totally up to you, but I think that twice is cute because it hides the raw edge and you're not seeing it, and no one knows you made this on your bedroom floor. Like, no one needs to know that. That's just a secret between me and you. So once everything is pinned down, you're going to sew a straight stitch all the way around just to make sure the fabric stays in place and doesn't disrespect you and your ancestors. So at the sewing machine, you're going to sew your straight stitch. We're not inventing time travel here. It's just a straight stitch. Jessica, you can do this. So I'm going to sew my straight stitch all around, and I took my sweet time, and you can tell I was making sure this was sewn to perfection. And she didn't look perfect, but she was good enough for me, and that's all that matters. So there's a hem neckline, and now we're going to fold in the fabric twice on the bottom placket. I've already done one side. I'm just showing you how to do the other side because it's exactly the same thing. Fold in your fabric twice and pin it in place. That's all you need to do. And make sure this is wide enough to fit buttons on, because we are going to be putting buttons and buttonholes and all that jazz. So you're now going to do a straight stitch down the sides. Make sure to sew as close to the edge as possible. And we're doing a straight stitch. And even if you have stretchy fabric, which my fabric was stretchy, use a straight stitch. You don't want to use a zigzag backstitch on the bottom placket, it doesn't look as neat, it doesn't look as cute, and people will know you don't have money for Urban Outfitters. You don't need the whole world knowing that, okay? So once everything was sewn, I'm taking my stash of buttons. Why do I have so many buttons? Why do you breathe? It's simple questions that don't need answers, okay? Just get your buttons from wherever you get your buttons. And now I'm going to mark the positions of my buttons, and I decided 1 3/4 inches was enough. So I spaced my points by 1 3/4 inches. You can vary this according to your preference. If you want more buttons, make sure they're closer together. If you want less buttons, you do you. And I did this on both sides, and eventually I had 5 points on each side, so 10 points in total. I'm sorry you can barely see them, but they're there, okay? Just like my insecurities. And I am going to take my buttons, and on the side you're going to do the buttonholes. You will mark the length of your button, and this is a completely unnecessary step, but so necessary because it helps you sew your buttonholes in a very neat and organized way. So you can do this or you can choose not to do this. Don't let me tell you what to do, but I decided for my own sanity I needed a guideline for sewing my buttonholes. So my buttonhole is just going to be this length you're seeing here. This length is going to be my buttonhole length. So my sewing machine sews buttonholes upwards, and when I position my fabric I make sure to account for this, and I have a buttonhole presser foot that literally sews a button on for me. I don't have to do anything except just be there and exist, which is nice. And after it's done, it stops sewing and I have a buttonhole, but this buttonhole is not functional. So I place a pin at the edge of the buttonhole and take my seam ripper to open her up and make sure she's a functional member of society. So I just seam rip my way, take out the pin, and now you have a functional buttonhole. You will repeat this as many times as you need to, and then on the side of the buttons you're going to hand sew them on. I literally cry doing this. I really hate hand sewing so much, and I hate literally any kind of labor, but here we are. But once I cried a bit, wiped my tears, and you can see them on this top if you zoom in very closely. But once the button was sewn on and secure, I forgot all my problems, and I'm going to close off the stitch on the inside by knotting her off, making sure she's secure and I don't have to ever do this again. I then cut off the excess thread, and once that was done, I repeated this 5 times, and then I had 5 buttons sewn on. So once the buttons are sewn on, you are now ready for the last and final step, and this is to hem the bottom of your shirt. I'm going to fold in the fabric twice and sew all around. My voice just broke there. Did you hear that? And then for the sleeves, I'm going to cut off the cuff that came with the top because I don't need her. I'm going to make a lattice hem here as well, and you literally just fold in your fabric twice and sew a stitch all around. So make sure you're with me. We're about to do the lattice hem. So the lattice hem is cute, but boy does she require effort. So make sure your fabric is folded in twice. It's cute. And then pull your fabric as much as you can. You can literally see the veins popping in my hand because I am really pulling this. Oh, by the way, those are my settings for the stitch length and width in case you need them. But we're literally just folding in our fabric twice. Make sure it's cute. And then pulling this as taut as you can. For you to create a lattice hem, you have to pull this tight. There's no other way around it, and this pulling will literally exhaust your fingers. You will want to cry, and once you've cried, you will have to repeat this along the sleeve edge as well. But once you've done both sleeves and the bottom edge of your shirt, you are good to go. You have this cute wavy effect that makes your top so cute. It's honestly so worth it. And here is my shirt that only cost me $3.50 and a lot of tears. It's quite the bargain if I do say so myself. Anyway, that's the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed making these 2 tops with me and saving literally $103. That is money I'm personally going to be putting into ordering food. That way they can take more embarrassing pictures of me as they hand off my food to me and I look like a literal goblin. But I would rather spend money on food than clothes any day, okay? So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Let me know if you'll be making any of these tops, and also let me know if you get into Harvard, because that is one of the goals for this video. And if I make someone's dream come true, I'll be so happy. So please let me know if you get into Harvard because of this video. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and see you soon. Bye.